Good morning, it's Barbara. It is cool and damp outside, and apparently it rained last night, so we're getting back into mud. It wasn't too terrible yesterday, but we shall see. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Whew, on this cool, dreary day. Dennis is wearing his overalls, so I am wearing my not too much turtleneck version, because that's what I wear when I'm expecting to be chilly. It's a very lovely. This is Cat Lady yarn. I don't know if she still sells dyes yarn, but it's a beautiful color called cranberry. So good morning. You can hear in the background Pearl is dropping the stick for Dennis, trying to get him to throw it for her. Anyway, good morning. I had a very, very nice visit with my parents yesterday. It's a long day and I get home pretty tired. You know, it's 3 hours driving, 3 hours visiting, and 3 hours driving home. It's a long day. But yeah, it was a very nice visit. After lunch, my brother came, and so we had a couple of hours with my brother and me and my parents, and it was just really, really nice. But there were fireworks at lunch, let me tell you. When I walked in the front door, you have to walk past the dining room to get to the elevators, and I noticed that the table that my parents usually sit at, they sit with now 3 other people, was 4, but Charlie, lovely man, passed in the last couple of weeks. So now they're 5, but they had a round table for 6, and you know, they always sit at the same table. And when I walked past, I could see that there was a square table for 4 in that spot. And I thought, wow, that's really weird. So when we get down to had a pause. Dennis was making his coffee. So when we got down to the dining room for lunch, I could see that like the whole room was discombobulated. Everything was moved around, and there seemed to be like a lot of chairs piled up in the corners and stuff. It didn't, whatever they were doing, it didn't seem like it was finished. You know, it was a little too disorganized. And so anyway, we walk into the dining room. They can't sit at their table because it's like the wrong number of people, because, you know. And we see Helen and Jane sitting at another table close by that's round. It's table number 12. Their table is table 11. And Jane says that she asked, she said, hey, this table doesn't work for us. And they said, well, sit at that table. But of course, that table already, you know, table is where other people expect to sit. In theory, you can sit anywhere in this dining room, but, you know, you can't. You definitely cannot just sit anywhere. So anyway, Jane and Helen were there. And so, you know, we sat down, and the 5th person in their group, Jim, was going out to lunch with his sons. So, but I was there, so we were still 5. I didn't eat, but I sit and talk a lot, apparently. So anyway, everybody's discombobulated in the dining room. People, you know, it's like, and 2 different times over the course of the lunch, people who usually sat in tables 12, where we were, came over and like, what's going on? You're in our chairs. You know, this is our table. What the heck? You know, and some version of that. And, you know, and Jane says, well, they told me to sit here. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Our table, I don't even know. It's over there somewhere. We don't even know. So, Jane said that she came down to breakfast. The others don't come down to breakfast. And she sat in that same chair where she was at lunch. And, you know, she said, I was told very pointedly, but politely, but very directly that isn't my seat and I shouldn't be there. I'm like, yeah, you can sit anywhere, but you cannot. Anyway, it was a big brouhaha. People went and complained to the concierge at the front desk, and I'm sure were complaining constantly to the poor, young men. They were all men, I think, who are the waiters who were delivering the food. If you want to cause a big problem at assisted living, drop a bomb in the residence, just change their seating around and screw them up. That's what happened. It was a big deal. So I told them, I'm going to be leaving about 3. I'll come and I'll switch the numbers, and I'll put number 11, which is their number, on that table where we were sitting for lunch. I said, I'll solve the problem. I'll just put an 11 right here, and I'll put the 12 over wherever I find the 11. And they decided that would be a good idea. So when I came down, my brother and I came down after our visit, and I went to change the numbers at their table with their 11 on it was back where it belonged. And, clearly the very lovely young man who was one of the servers was like mopping the floor. And I said, oh, I came down here to switch numbers so that, dinner would be okay. He said, I think he said that they reset the tables back to like the original plan when they first opened, and the 2 round tables were by the kitchen doors. And, I guess there are only 2 round tables, but my parents sit at one of them. And, they were talking like, oh, better flow out of the kitchen for the food and stuff. Anyway, by the time I got down there at 3 o'clock, they had put it all back because, OMG, there was a mutiny among the ranks. It was quite an event. Anyway. And, I'm trying to, like, help. My dad puts his hand on my arm telling me to be quiet. Sit back and be quiet and butt out. Which I should have. And I did when he told me that. But, I get involved. I'm trying to fix everything. I can't solve all the problems. And I need to stop trying, was what he was telling me. Anyway, it was a very, very nice visit and a lot of hoo-ha at lunch. My mother has a lot of trouble swallowing, and so she gets her meals pureed. And Dave, the cook, he's so sweet. He takes good care of her. He really worries about her, and he brought her some fruit. You hardly ever get fruit, Martha. Here, I pureed you some fruit. But she had so much food. She had 4 dishes. She had the soup was cream of carrot, and so she could eat that straight up, and 3 other dishes. She's like, they gave me so much food. I'm like, I know, Mama, you don't have to finish it. You don't have to finish it, but eat some of this. I think it's got meat in it. You need some protein. She's actually doing pretty well. She seems much stronger than the last time I was there, and that was good. That was good. So anyway, very nice visit with the parents. Completely uneventful trips both ways. Actually less traffic than I expected. So, yeah, I don't know what the story is that. I mean, I'm going around Harrisburg, the capital of Pennsylvania, at 4:30, 4:45. And no traffic problems. I mean, there were cars on the road, but well, one nice thing is that all the construction, I did not hit any construction on the turnpike or on the main road once I got on the turnpike. And usually there's something going on, and there wasn't anything. So that was nice too. There is a spot before I get to the turnpike where a turnpike bridge is being repaired and replaced. And apparently they're doing it 1 lane at a time. So they've got these little temporary traffic lights, they don't have flagger force guys there with a stop and a slow. They have literal traffic lights set up. And I guess you can replace a bridge 1 lane at a time, because that looks like what they're doing. I'd have to go a completely different way if I didn't go through there, and it hasn't been a big problem. But anyway, it was a nice trip. It was a nice trip. So I'm already talking 10 minutes, so I am going to save the story about what was happening at home while I was gone with the dogs for tomorrow. Because otherwise I won't have anything to talk about tomorrow. Oh, I forgot my knitting. I did the tiniest bit of knitting Monday night. Hold on. I told you I would work on my hat, and I did. I didn't do any crafting yesterday. I got home about 6 o'clock, and I was tired. And, you know, so I ate my dinner. Dennis made me a delicious stir fry. And, you know, hung out with Dennis and Aura for a couple of hours. And then I was reading, and I was tired. And, you know, Dennis was playing his Burrow Wither stick, playing his computer game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go lay in bed and read my phone and go to sleep, which I did. With no crafting. And I didn't do that much, but I did start the next welt. I think after this welt, there's only going to be 2 more welts. And then I'm going to be done. It doesn't look very different from the gray when I'm looking at it on my camera. But this is what it is. So I think I have 1 more row to knit, and then I have to pick it up for the welts. And I have more colors in here. Well, this explains why I didn't have quite so many colors for my... And I have these other colors that I threw in. So this is how my hat's going to end, with these 4 colors, and then it'll be done. And I think it might be done in 3. We'll see. But I'm very close to finishing, and I will promise I will work on this tonight. I'm not promising to finish it, but I will work on it. But I worked on that for a little while, and then whoa, earthquake. Then I decided to work on my leg warmers, and so I did. So I've been doing the purling with the rest of the yarn, and I have quite a bit to go. A couple more rows. Anyway, I'm going to purl to the end of these little balls, and so it'll be a bigger set of purls than the other ones that I've had. I changed the number of knit rows, but I didn't change the number of purl rows. So now I am for this. It's going to be purl. I don't know what I'm going to do for my next row, but aren't they cute? I'm so tickled with them. But I am loving this self-striping yarn that's making them look so cute. Well, I'll have to dig around in my other minis then. Oh, I bet you some of those minis that Danielle sent me are self-striping. She does a lot of socks, and she does self-striping. I'll have to look for those. Anyway, I'm enjoying doing my leggings, my leg warmers, and I will finish my hat. And I need to pick up my fingerless gloves that I'm making for Dennis. He might have them next winter. The rate I'm going. Anyway, so we'll have the final adventures, I hope final adventures of the dogs tomorrow. And I hope you have a good day. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.